Sarah McCombs. I am the shorts programmer here at deadCENTER, and I am so thrilled to share Okies in your corner with you guys. Woo! This year, we actually had so many awesome Okie films that we had to make a whole nother program. And this program is special because it's all documentaries about people in Oklahoma. So we can really take the time to take a minute and see what our locals are up to. I do just want to mention, we have a really great film called Heaven's Rage. It's about 3 films in. It does have very intense storm and tornado footage. I just want to mention this in case anyone's been affected by the storms. If you need to step out, it's 13 minutes long. If you don't need to step out, it's a great movie though, as are all of them. So enjoy, and we'll do Q&A after.
I think we wanted to just show people, anybody that, no matter what it is, day in, day out, there's a way to get past it. Life's going to throw you challenges, and you just got to kind of buckle down and grind through them.
I'll pass this on to Ken Cole.
It's kind of strange, my subject's right next to me. You know, I've known Reed for a long time, and, you know, I've known him in meteorology, and tornadoes have always fascinated us. And so this was just kind of an interesting opportunity to maybe do something that would show you how Reed might remember an event like that. So that's what kind of inspired this.
For me, you know, when you start to kind of read the stats about what goes on around the world, there's something like every 21 seconds a child dies because of the water that they drink. The absolute normalcy of that was something that we really felt the world wanted, or the world needed to know that you know, tonight we'll go home and we'll turn on the faucet and not think anything about it. Hopefully you will think something about it. But you know, right now. It's about 6:30 in the morning in Zambia, and so Petronella, that you just saw, she's getting up in the morning and she's doing her normal thing, and she's got clean water. But there are countless others that they're going to be waking up tomorrow morning and walking long distances to get water from some of those sources that we talked about, that we showed before. But really, probably the most exciting thing is to talk about hope, and that, you know, there's a way, there's a solution, a potential solution with water for, which crazy or not, I mean, it's like 2.3 miles that way, I think, I don't kind of turned around, right here in Oklahoma, that could change all of that. And I think one of the coolest things to know is that, you know, we could all be a part of that. We could all be a part of changing and empowering millions of lives around the world if we just get involved. So that was kind of the whole impetus of the story and why we wanted to tell the story.
So follow that, mine's about music. We just wanted to showcase. We just wanted to showcase red dirt music, which is a genre that's different from country. It's like bluegrass, folk, kind of a little country, everything rolled into one. That started in Stillwater with guys that went to college but hated it and liked playing music more, and all lived together and just created and collaborated, formed tons of bands that I'm sure you guys have probably seen some shows across Oklahoma, and then have also played shows across the whole Midwest. And it's now, as you kind of saw from Parker and John's story, something that's being passed on to a younger generation. They're like entrusting this legacy to them, and it's just a big part of Oklahoma culture, so we wanted to kind of document that.
My film was the last one it showed. It was about Suzanne Peck, and really, I mean, Suzanne's definitely an interesting person, but for me and my approach is, I think everybody has an amazing story to tell, and really just finding that common theme, and like with Suzanne, it was just what inspired her and kept her going as an artist and as a woman in Oklahoma. And yeah, I think she had to take off, but I definitely appreciate her. You know, it was just her and I the whole time, and we didn't think it was going to end up here with you guys, but it's cool that you did. Appreciate it. Thanks.
So Claire and I work for This Land. It's like we do a TV show, and it's a newspaper, and you know, kind of our jobs are making videos like this, all, you know, and it's cool to be here because kind of this is what we wanted to see more of, you know, is real stories about people in Oklahoma, and so it's cool to see some really amazing work about people here, and specifically about the people. With Tammy in the first video that played, the producer Sheila that I work with on that was down there right after the fire and ran into this woman at a shelter and was telling her about all of these flashbacks she was having from World War II, and it was just a really interesting story, and she had a really great personality and was willing to let us come down and interview her. And with Tyson Mead, it was another one of those things where it was just a person that their story, I was surprised that I didn't know more about him, just since he's been around Oklahoma so much, and he was, he was really definitely interested in us meeting his family, which I was really into. So it was just a cool opportunity to get, really personal with people. So yeah.
And one more thing about Tammy is, we all laugh when we see that the only thing she grabbed from her house was her swimsuit, but the only reason she did that was so that she could eventually rebuild. And that's what Oklahomans are about, is just getting put through shit, building ourselves back up. So I guess that's it.
I would be interested in knowing what was the one shot, what was the one sound bite, the one funny thing or sad thing that didn't make it in since you had to leave the floor.
There's many with Tyson. There's many funny, hilarious. There's like a 30-minute movie just of his dad saying hilarious things. Tammy, we really interviewed her for like 5 minutes. That was like the first time we went there, she was staying at a shelter and we drove there, and she showed us around for about 5 minutes and then got in a car and left, and that was the whole thing. So there wasn't a whole lot on that one, that it was kind of all in there.
For us, it was a lot of the same. I think if we put Suzanne and Tyson together, it could be like a HBO, like 5 years. For us, it was one thing. Suzanne had the story where she was talking about being at the arts festival and all the original clip. She said, there's all these kids. Kids can be such assholes. They come and they say, "Oh, your name's Suzanne Peck, right?" So we kept trying to figure out how to tell that, and I would go back and I'd say, "Okay, tell that story again." And she wouldn't retell it in a way that was authentic. So eventually we tried, and Suzanne's not here, but she was pissed about this, that it didn't make it in. We painted a mini set to recreate it with little action figures and went down right where the arts festival was and had it out there. And then it even had little arms, and when she said, "You're such an asshole," it went like, she's sort of like, she doesn't have an audible catchphrase, it's just that. So yeah, that's what didn't make it.
The old man with the beard, Randy Crouch, he's this crazy old guy who plays fiddle and just jams so hard. And like the scene in like the field when he's talking, there's a ton more of that when he's not looking at us, looking straight into the camera, out of focus, his mic's not on, he tries to move his chair at one point and like walks out of the shot. He was just crazy, but I wish I had just like a movie of that guy.
For me, there's a lot. The one thing that probably sticks out more than anything else is when we went back 4 months later, everyone was talking about, oh, we're so glad we have these wells, because on the other side of the island where they don't have the wells, people are getting, they're going down the water at night, and there's this crocodile that's like attacking people. I know this is not funny. You did it to me. Now you did something funny. And anyway, but it was absolutely incredible. They're like, "Oh man, you're saving us because of the water. We don't have to walk down to the water anymore." The reason why we didn't put it in is because everybody would be thinking about the crocodile instead of the actual water and the issues. But there's a lot of just absolutely great stuff that we could all make like 12-hour documentaries of our subjects, I'm sure. So.
Yeah, I would say with Reed, there are always things before and after, before you turn the camera on and after you turn the camera off, and even in between that are just amazing and funny. And I can't really repeat here, but no, he's a funny guy. But actually, if there's one scene in here that didn't get in was after we saw the tornado, we pulled off on a dirt road and we got out, and he had discovered that the tornado had sucked his iPhone away from him. And oh, was it? I thought it was. Oh yeah, sorry, it was a cell phone. Sorry, no, never mind. So his phone, whatever he used to call people, which is constantly going, was sucked into the tornado. And at the same time, we were kind of discovering that debris and grass had plastered Joel's truck. So that was one moment that didn't make the cut, but you know.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't elaborate on that. There's way more than just a lost cell phone, but yeah. Like all the conversations we have in the cars, we have 4 guys in the car, 50, 60,000 miles a year. I mean, the conversation degrades real bad, but it gets raw and it's real. And
You know everything about who you chase with, everything.
gas station foods, there's great gas stations.
I think there's so much. I mean, Nick was on his bike for 15 hours during in Ventura, California, doing that ride. So there's so much of that we weren't able to tell. But I think the funniest, the thing that comes to mind is, I think it's like early on in filming, probably the first day we filmed, when Nick is driving to the lake, he gets pulled over in the village by the police, and the police officer just kind of goes along with it. He goes, "Oh, you guys doing it?" He's like, Nick says, "Well, we're doing a documentary," and the police officer says, "You mean about how nice the police are?" And he's like, "Yeah, maybe, I don't know." But the guy writes us a ticket, and Nick's line that didn't make it in was, he goes, "That's not even highway robbery, that's just average road robbery." So that's one little thing that came to mind that was in the film for a long time that got pulled out at the end.
Is that just the first story that y'all actually came to, or were there like other people that you interviewed, or what was it that steered you towards Nick?
Well, Nick's my older brother, so that's pretty much how that. And when he said he was going to do it, that he wanted to do it, I got with John because he's sort of got the technical prowess that I needed to pull this off with the camera work and the editing work and stuff. And so I just said, "Do you want to make a documentary about this?" And then we did.
And they just had a baby.
Nick did have a baby last week, a little baby girl.